Slavery is an abhorrent business, whatever century it happened in. To make someone do something under the threat of violence or for no money at all and keeping them in squalor is disgusting. This shouldn't be happening in 2022 either. But it is happening in 2022. I'll get onto that later. So Prince William and Catherine, or Kate, whatever she's known as, are currently in Jamaica. Jamaica is part of the British Commonwealth. Now, we don't rule these countries, but Her Majesty the Queen is the head of state. And they can always choose or vote to leave the Commonwealth and ditch her as the head of state. They have that right. And when the royals go over to Commonwealth countries to do their job, it's not a holiday or a jaunt. They go over there to work, apart from when one or two of them let the side down and bugger off to some pervert billionaire's private nonce island, or they get seduced by an American actress and then shit on the family and the country and its history and its people from afar. The royal family, they go on these jaunts, they go over there to do business, they seduce business people into making business with the United Kingdom to bring their businesses to the UK to employ British people. They dangle the royal carrot in front of them. They promise them visits to Buckingham Palace to visit Grandmummy, the Queen. And yes, they've even given these people honours and titles. A little lump of metal to put on their chest or, around their necks, or letters after their names, titles, which is a small price to pay to doing business and help employ British people. That's what it's all about. They go over to these countries to fly the British flag to promote brand Great Britain. So the royal family, they do have their uses. And that's partly the reason I believe Meghan Markle left, because she thought she'd be a wealthy, pampered princess who treated her staff like shit, which is true, she did, and live in big castles forever. She didn't expect to have to put the work in. Anyway, I digress. This video is about Whoopi Goldberg and what she said about Britain and slavery. So if you don't know who Whoopi Goldberg is, she is a very mouthy lefty on the US panel show The View. Now, The View is the US version of the UK's very own Loose Women. And it's exactly the same format. It's a handful of screeching, hateful women talking in an educated manner about things they know little about. And Whoopi Goldberg is the most controversial of all. This is the same Whoopi Goldberg who suggested recently that they should be arresting people who tell the truth about the laboratories in the Ukraine. The laboratories that Russia said that existed there, the Americans denied, and then they came out with a statement saying, well, yes, we have some. This is the same Whoopi Goldberg who said that Jill Biden, who's not a medical doctor, is a hell of a doctor, an amazing doctor, and suggested she put herself in the running for Surgeon General, for heaven's sake. And she also said something about Israel, which earned her a couple of weeks' ban off the telly. So Whoopi Goldberg came out and said this because of what's happening in Jamaica around the William and Catherine, or Kate, whatever her name is, her visit there, their visit there, right now. Let's not forget, she says, when we talk about what needs to happen, all the folks that need to apologise. Listen, this is not new. I suspect Charles, when he was in Barbados, had some idea because he went on and apologised. Yes, he was releasing the hold that Britain has. So perhaps someone is listening, and it's the new group of folks. I don't know if it's Charles, but one of them. So that's what she said. She said Britain, or the royal family, need to apologise for slavery. Now, every demographic on earth has been enslaved at one point or another in history. Even my own people, the Welsh, we were enslaved literally by the English after they conquered our country back in the late 1200s under King Edward I, or for the thickos amongst you, that's Longshanks in the movie Braveheart. But do I want reparations? Do I hate the English? Do I go around moping with a chip on my shoulder for something that happened to my people 700 years ago? Of course not. And I've said it before, so I'll say it again. White people of today have no business. There's no need to apologise what happened to someone else hundreds of years ago. Yes, the slave trade was disgusting. What happened to the black people in the United States prior, through and after the Civil War in the 1860s was horrendous. And slavery is indeed a stain on Western history. And by the way, I just want to say this. The Irish, the Scots, the Welsh and the English, they built Great Britain. We built Great Britain. No one else, no other demographic, and that's a fact. We've hated each other, but somehow we came together and created the greatest empire the world has ever seen or known. So the likes of Whoopi Goldberg and Black Lives Matter and other leftist organisations out there who are targeting and demonising white people at this very moment and blaming us for their own ills, they've put us back decades in terms of prejudiced race relations by slamming it down our throats 24/7. They have an agenda to divide us, and unfortunately it's working. The likes of Whoopi Goldberg and Black Lives Matter, they shouldn't worry about the slave trade of 200 years ago. They should worry about the slave trade happening now. Because today, 167 countries still have some form of modern slavery, and it affects an estimated 46 million people worldwide. Now, I've got this information from a website called the Global Slavery Index, where it has a top 10 countries with the highest prevalence of modern slavery. And 2 of those countries are in, shock horror, Africa. So number 7 on the list is the Congo, and they've got over 1 million slaves, 1,045,000 to be exact, or estimated. And number 4 is Nigeria. They've got 1,386,000 slaves. Why isn't Whoopi Goldberg and her ilk, why aren't they all crying about this? Why aren't they going over there to demonstrate about slavery and free their brothers and sisters from this awful bondage? That's because they won't. You see, slavery is a modern day stick to beat the white man with. And it's being used with great enthusiasm by people like Whoopi Goldberg, Barack Obama and his husband Big Mike. They've become so divisive. I'll tell you what, ever since he became president of the United States, the race relations in the US between whites and blacks, it nosedived, because people like Barack Obama and his husband Big Mike, they've convinced black people that they're still living in the imaginary cotton fields under the whip of the white man. Of course, it's not true. It's complete and utter tosh. The royal family don't need to apologise for anything regarding slavery. You know, what modern white people, we don't need to apologise. It was nothing to do with us. And I will refuse to do so. But I will acknowledge that it's wrong. And that's that. That's what I think. Please let me know what you think in the comments. And if you like what I do, then by all means, you can buy me a beer. The link is down below. And until the next video, please comment, share, subscribe, and Roger Trout.